Hello everyone, this is BigAlski,
And JTB.
and we are doing the video commentary for Ball Blades Chapter 7 Ninja Gaiden Master Ninja Run. And I think these next few fights are really kind of boring in terms of farming. I mean, the time limit is totally ludicrously long, if that's a word. And
Almost 6 minutes for this first fight. Yeah.
and I think the best way, to get the most points is just being super efficient with your movements. It's what would you think? No wasted motion, I think, is really the key to this.
Yeah, definitely. Knowing like the perfect positioning for the zombies. With the level 1 Lunar, it is a little bit different. Usually like a roll jump shuriken toss will get you a 2-hit UT. But that's one advantage he does have using the level 1 Lunar. You don't have to be all that considerate. I remember because I've resumed my no reset run in between this, and I actually have the level 1 Lunar because I picked it up from him doing this, and like you can be so reckless with your placing on that level 1 Lunar. I think the dark zombies take 3 full UTs to kill. With the level 1 Lunar, the lighter zombies maybe take 2.5, and it takes 2 to even kill an archer zombie. Like that level 1 Lunar UT is extremely weak, so I guess that kind of makes it even worse for him because that could almost go against him if he's not like perfect with his position, and he could fail on that. And he does run it quite low there, looking at it.
Yeah, he does run it quite low, but he does go back up and save. There is a little shortcut, that you can jump straight down by the save statue and fall all the way down. You surely don't want to fall down to the pit, but at least you could reset. But
yeah, that's true. And it's interesting he doesn't chain the essence in that previous fight. I mean, you've definitely got the time, and I assume that he must have got a good, a run that he deemed good enough to not chain. Now, the only thing I think that can be improved here is his method for killing the archers. I noticed that he does actually just use like standing UTs on them.
And there's time being wasted, right? But you only get 50 UTs, but I mean you do get obviously bonus points for extra time. So you're right.
And on a Fiend challenge, the 2 are really, really important. Again, on Master Ninja, you get such a long amount of time for all the Fiend challenges. You really want to be killing them as fast as possible. The method that I usually use for this is to do jump X forward YYY with the flails, and that will kill an archer zombie. They'll never survive that. There's a weird property with the archer zombies, with the zombies in general actually, where in certain frames of their animations they actually don't take any damage. So if you actually say you do like the XYY combo with the flails or the nunchucks, which is like the regular 3 hits and then like the flip kicks that he does. When they actually recover from that animation, for the first few frames of that, they won't take damage. So, you're kind of wasting time when you actually attack them afterwards. Whereas with the in-air X and then forward YYY, you can instantly kill them, and that staggers blue essence, so you can just have a constant, uninterrupted chain of UTs. All things considered, I only think that costs him like maybe 5,000 to 6,000 points. But,
right.
It's their points for the next guy that he can get.
But so after the fight, he goes and saves, and as he's, dropping down into the pit, he's throwing shurikens to kill the bats to chain the essence, to this fight right here.
I always used to use the bow for that, just for fun. When they're above you, it's just something really funny about shooting the arrows in the bats.
So he sneaks in an extra ET where some people might have, panicked and just gone for the UT to make sure the time. He goes back and gets his scarab and goes and saves. Now in this fight, you want to cross the bridge because if you drop down, I think 3 of these enemies don't spawn. So you have to walk across the bridge to get the full amount of enemies.
And that will mess up your end of chapter kill bonus as well. So you definitely do not want that to happen.
Right. Now on hard, on some of the other levels, I don't think it matters that much because you can go back and you can make up the kills or something. But on hard, when the time limit's really, hard to make, you surely don't want to miss out on those, 3 extra kills.
Oh yeah, I think that's always the thing that makes hard, in my opinion, without a doubt, the hardest difficulty to Karma run. Because right. you haven't got that cushion of, on normal as well to a certain extent. It's just I think on normal the enemies are so like the enemies are so weak that you don't really need to worry too much about them. Whereas on hard, you know, if you kind of get lazy, the enemies do enough damage to you that they can actually, you know, take you out pretty quick. So
right. So he wanted to kill the 4, zombies first, and then after he did that, that spawned the little slider guys.
Yeah, and there is 8 of them to kill, so it's always important to know like your enemy encounters and that.
He runs this pretty close too, I think, doesn't he?
Yeah, there's 21 enemies in the fight. 50 points on that time. Now again, this is another example of where the level 1 Luna it doesn't help, tremendously, but it kind of guarantees that he's not going to kill that zombie, because the archer zombies are pretty weak. So,
and thanks to Kiori there again for that shortcut.
Another Kiori shortcut. I think the difficulty where I think these help you the most, I know you mentioned it, I think in your hard run, is on hard, because if you didn't have those, making the time limit for this chapter on hard would be not impossible, but like everything else would have to be absolutely perfect. Like you would have 0 margin for error without those shortcuts on hard.
Right. That guy sure was amazing to come up with this stuff.
Yeah. Now in this fight, you can just charge UT straight out of the gate. As you can see, they never spawn close enough to you or quick enough to interrupt it.
Well, his goal right now is he's going to really focus on the sliders first, so he can, farm the other guys. And don't forget, I know you haven't forgotten, but you can really redirect your UT and kill multiple enemies with the flails. Some people, unfortunately get into the habit of, just letting the UT go and not directing it. And that's really the key of staggering the essence and keeping 2 going at one time, especially in the zombie challenge fight.
Oh, that's essential, yeah. I think the flails are probably one of the best UTs for that, though, because like that, I've always kind of thought of the flails UT as 2 parts. Like the beginning combo is like kind of part 1, and then like that final like 2 hits as part. Yeah. That final 2 hits is just insanely powerful.
Yeah, that'll kill anybody.
You can take out, like, I think if you get your positioning perfectly, like that can actually kill 4 zombies at a time. Like the first like downward hit will kill the first 2, and then like if they actually are close enough, like where he kind of whips it back up like there, like right, that will kill the next 2.
I think he maybe lost track of the enemies there. He had some time to.
Yeah.
Now here's where you were saying you could chain. Yeah, see, he missed the essence.
Yeah, it looks like he goes for it, but I'm not sure why that didn't chain, to be honest. That maybe he just was a little bit too slow. Like your timing does have to be really on point to get that to chain, but again, like more essence, more points rather for the next guy.
This is what happens to me most of the time.
This
right
always happens to me.
He made it up. Okay.
I've never had him get up there first time ever. Now, yeah, he's just being a bit of a pincushion here.
I'm not meaning to laugh, but I mean we've all been there where it's just getting frustrating. That's where the.
You notice his positioning there, where you can kind of hide like behind that. It's almost like a pillar. You can hide behind that, and then the other archer is unable to hit him. But he's making up for it now.
Well, see, but this is where he kind of gets lucky because he goes to that spot, and the guy misses in that time.
I think he earns it though. I think he got shot about 8 times, so he earns getting lucky there. And again, the level 1 Luna helps immensely in this fight, because getting 2 UTs out of these zombies can be pretty tricky with the level 2 Luna, because you do really have to rely on them missing you or just not firing straight away because of the how many hits it takes for the level 2 Luna to kill the archer zombies. I've always found this the bane of this gauntlet. The Hydra Cubers can be just so uncooperative when he wants to be.
Right.
And I think it's interesting to note about this fight is that the kill bonus for this is, as far as I can tell, there doesn't seem to be a set allocated amount of cat fiends. I know on a couple of runs, I've just kind of ran the time limit to see how many will come out, and the most I've had was 18 on one run.
Oh wow!
He had 18 cat fiends assigned to him. So that does kind of go in your favor, because if you can get a good enough run at the start, like Balbade is really getting one here, he's got his health down extremely low in the blink of an eye, and he does kill him there.
Right.
And I would have probably saved that final UT, maybe like do like XY, XXY or something on Hydrocubus, just to get him like 2 flying swallows away from death, and then just see if you can like quickly kill like another 6 or 7 cat fiends, because that would add a lot of points to your kill bonus because of how fast he's able to drain his health.
Well, next time you do your when you try to beat his score, you can try it and let us know how it works out.
Maybe in like 50 years' time, that's my estimate for when I'll have the will to do this, put myself through this again.
Well, notice the positioning there. I mean, first of all, I want to say his Hydrocubus fight went really good.
His Hydrocubus fight was...
The Gleaming Blade UT is just so...
broken.
Yeah.
It really is. That move is... I mean... I think, like, kind of... the versatility of it is kind of what is, in my opinion, what makes it a little bit broken. Like, that move can do anything. It really can.
Now, he went back to the other side. The pillars come up on both sides, so he went back over there to save. And then, because if you save at this fight statue right here, this time, if you have to restart it, is not a timed fight. So, you know, that's one of the tricky things that you have to remember.
I don't know how he began this fight using the incendiary shurikens. They do have, like, the explosion does have actual stun mechanics assigned to it, so he hit the one on the right, and, like, the explosion actually stunned the guy on the left, so he was able to charge up his UT there.
And then he was able to, you know, kill one with the Ripping Thunder, kill the other, and then stagger the essence to, you know, keep this fight going.
And this is kind of what you want for the zombie encounter. You know, it's a couple of times in the zombie challenge, he'd use a flail UT on the archer zombie and then have to kill somebody or, like, wait for the essence to come out. And you really want kind of what he's had here up until this point. You just want non-stop UTs. Like, you just want a constant chain.
Right. And here, knowing the enemy count, you know, how he's switching over to the flails at just the right time.
Yeah, and he would have actually been able to keep that UT focused on that darker zombie there by holding the joystick in his direction. Because if he'd have let go of it, Ryu's auto-targeting would have finished off that last zombie with the final hit. Like, you probably have to rewind that to check that we can't do that. So.
Right. Now here, there's no reason to make the time limit. Obviously, getting 8 or 9 UTs is better than...
Yeah.
Because it's a tight time limit anyway. You know, even
going for the time limit, it's not... if the fish, you know, kind of don't want to come near you, like, you can fail the time limit quite easily, even with using, like, fire wheels and impo.
On Hurricane Pack 1, this was kind of a tight time limit to make.
Yeah. And I forgot to keep count of how many UTs he got there. But...
I think he got at least 8. At least 8.
I mean, that's
9.
way more. You would probably at most get maybe 1 UT with making that time limit, and you'd have to be like, it would have to be perfect to get it.
Right. Now I think it was Tatoshka that actually showed that you could UT the ghost fish, and she went and did it with her level 1, or not level 1, level 2 Lunar, and went to this fight, and it was really surprising. A lot of people didn't know that. And notice that he switched to the Lunar again because of the animation, you know, to make sure that he didn't whiff, you know, if he used something else. You know, even the flails could whiff. And if he Gleaming Blades, you know, they might be far enough away to where he wasn't going to get it. So again, knowing which weapons and when to use them is so key.
I always remember he's just noticed the deity is still on the statue. And I remember one of my very early Karma runs, actually. I got all the way to chapter 15 before I realized I'd forgot that.
Yeah, it's brutal, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't like one of my good runs. It was kind of when I very first got into Karma running, and I can't even remember what my score was. It was probably maybe like 14 million or something. And I remember just getting to that first door, and
yeah, he goes and picks it up right there.
Yeah, he picks it up there. That's
so go back and save, and then come and do the Alma fight.
If you do forget that, though, important to note, in chapter 12 is pretty much, if you forget anything, chapter 12 is where you can go and get it. So. Now this Alma fight has got to be the best Alma fight I think I've ever seen. Like, it really is, like, nigh on perfect. I don't think how it could be better. One interesting thing to note here is the Inferno Nimpo on Alma. When she does her like beam attack where she tries to pull you up, If you activate your Nimpo there, and the aura will actually connect with Alma, the Inferno Nimpo's fireball will be guaranteed to hit her if that aura activation connects. It's kind of a, I don't really know what to call it. It's just something. It's like a guaranteed loop where if that does hit, the follow-up fireball will connect.
Well, you know, he had a chance when he knocked her down. I don't know if he went to the wrong direction, you know, and it was a little bit earlier, and he decided, I guess, to Gleaming Blade the enemies instead of her. Maybe he didn't think he had time to get over there. That's the only, you know, problem that there could have been.
Yeah, there is that, and as well, I think he is doing well enough on time here to go for a UT. And if he'd have gone for Alma, like, she has a really annoying habit of, like, she jumps out the way, like, the second you release your Gleaming Blade, and then she'll, like, dodge every single follow-up attack.
Right. So, well, that fight turned out really good. I forgot to write down the time and the kills, but I'm sure he got it. But this is BigAlski.
And this is JTB.
And we'll see you in Chapter 8. Take care, guys. Thanks, JTB.